This did not happen before.
Oh no. I turned off all my Wi-Fi just in case somehow that would affect it. I don't think so. I think that would only be your side of it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Chrome tried to creep up, and like I can't run anything at the same time that I do this.
Okay.
All right, we're back on. Hell yeah. All right, let's see if we can get people to
Yeah.
trickle back in here. My bad, dude.
It's all good. Internets.
Internets. All right, awesome. So let's restart our whole intro. So if you didn't catch the beginning of that, this is Scott Carstairs of Fallujah hanging out with us today, sipping on a LaCroix, if I pronounced that correctly. We were just
It's
talking
LaCroix.
about LaCroix. We were just talking about his haircut. He went,
Big update.
yeah, went halfway into going for a full cut. So only half a quitter there.
Yeah.
Um,
Halfway.
all right, awesome. Well, again, welcome to the Big Shred podcast. So how have you been, man? Have you been, with all this coronavirus shit? How's it been treating you?
It's definitely a little weird. I mean, I live in LA, so it's like a big city, and normally when I go outside, like I live pretty close to Sunset Boulevard. So yeah, it was a pretty big difference from like before, because I went to Mexico and we played like 3 or 4 shows there, and it was all, they were talking about Corona like in the airports with like advertisements, like how to be safe. So we were hearing a lot about it. You know what I mean? And luckily we came home from that and it was still just people talking about it, and I got back to LA and everything was normal. And then it seemed like within like a couple days like things got like super crazy, and then this place kind of became like a weird ghost town. I actually took a walk over to Hollywood Boulevard with my fiance, and it was so weird. It was like a closed down amusement park. It was just totally
Fuck.
empty. Like, yeah, it was just really weird. And yeah, everybody's wearing masks going to the store, for a good reason. And you always see like the one person who isn't wearing a mask, like looking around the store, like, oh fuck, what did I need a mask, dude. I'm tripping. Yeah. But I honestly, besides that, I felt like I was built for this, for at least for staying home
Yeah.
often, because like before this happened, and I wasn't on tour and I was at home, I would just be playing guitar and writing music and giving online guitar lessons all day. So
Nice.
essentially the only thing that's changed is that my fiance now works at home, so she's just here hanging out while I do everything, and been saving a lot of money not going to bars and restaurants, because it's pretty much what I would just do on the weekend. So
Yeah. It's a
yeah.
bummer, but you gotta find the silver lining, I guess, wherever
Yeah.
you can find it. And
Yeah, just stay productive, just take advantage, because it did feel like we like did we went to Europe for Darkest Hour, and then we went to Mexico, and then we were supposed to basically, we had all these plans to get like a lighting rig and
oh man,
write some new music like as a group before we went on tour. So it was like a
yeah,
really busy schedule. Then all of a sudden, you know it's not a busy schedule, so it's
right.
kind of in that way it's kind of nice. I could just like take a breath and focus on writing music, and just focus on my students and making sure they're getting everything they need. Where normally like it's just like, oh, I just got home, I gotta like help everybody and then like write some music, then we gotta go on tour, and it's just like nonstop. Like it's just been kind of chill, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah,
I
yeah,
just I feel bad for everybody else that has to like be working in hospitals, or people that have just straight up lost their jobs. Like that sucks. You know what I mean? Like I lost a tour, right? I was supposed to leave on the first day of the tour with Allegion was tomorrow, but
oh
I don't
fuck.
really feel like, I don't know. Everybody's lost a tour. It's not like it's just my tour, So I don't really feel like I could be like, oh, this really sucks. I mean, it's everybody's going through something, and honestly, a lot of other people are having more devastating things happen to them than not being able to go on tour. So it's just kind of like, whatever. Just be happy you're not dealing with a family member that's sick, or losing jobs or something like that. So just trying to stay positive and use my time wisely. Make music.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's super fair. Where you made a great point. There's two sides of the coin where people are without work or people are like putting their life on the line, really. So
Yeah.
It's a crazy situation, but like you said, we're us musicians are kind of built for this stuff because we're used to just sitting at the computer for hours and just kind of putting the work in and doing the
Yeah.
shedding. So
Hmm.
glad to hear though that you're able to, do some teaching, that you're able to put some work into the new Fallujah, hopefully, or like
Yeah,
your solo
definitely.
record and shit.
Yep.
So I know you've had that in the works for a minute, so I'm excited to hear that too.
Hell
Whenever
yeah, me too.
that's going on, let's check the comments really quick. We got some homies in here,
Oh
so
yeah. Stop checking after the first feed kind of
yeah,
died.
yeah. So my bad again. If you're just tuning in now, we appreciate you jumping in from the first feed. I had some technical difficulties. Shit happens. But Alex Kendrick is in the house. He
My boy
says,
Alex,
"Yo, love
the
that
Alex Kendrick
dude."
show.
Yeah. He says, "Yo, how about the time we randomly met outside WeHo, Scott?"
Oh, so weird. I mean, like I was just chilling at my apartment and it was probably like 10:30 p.m. or 11 p.m. or something like that. And it was like we're gonna like start a movie, me and my fiance, and we're like, let's just go to the liquor store and like get some bubbly water and maybe some vodka. So it's just like a trip to the store or whatever. And I literally walk out of my apartment and like right across the street from my apartment, there was like it looked like a typical scene outside of a venue. Just like, oh, that's a group of metal dudes. Like, that's weird. I feel like I'm at a venue right now. And then I walk up and it's literally all the dudes from the Faceless is like
Oh shit.
Andrew and Michael and Alex and Aaron. I was like, what do you guys? I think they were like, why are you here? I was like, what do you mean, why am I here? I live
Why
right
the
there.
fuck are you here?
Yeah, so random. Yeah, I think they were in town for like it was the last day of Summer Slaughter, and then they just ended up in front of my apartment.
Nice.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm pretty sure he
out
texted
for a
me and
little
was
bit.
like, "Dude, I just guess who I just saw." Like
Yeah, it was really
random as
random.
fuck.
Like, yeah,
Andrew's in the house. Andrew Baird,
my man,
the
he's dropping
homie.
a awesome playthrough tonight. I think
Oh
tonight
shit.
or tomorrow.
I don't know it was tonight. Andrew, if it's tonight, please drop that shit in the comments whenever it
I think
drops,
it might
dude.
be tomorrow.
If it's tomorrow,
Oh,
let me
yeah, I
know
got
so
the
I can
chat.
share. And dude, we got Paul Wardingham watching right now.
Oh, sick! That guy
That
shreds.
guy
He
shreds hard
he's
as
got one of
fuck.
these things. He's got a super sick X going on,
Oh damn, flexing on him.
bro. Let me see that X, Paul Wardingham.
That thing is fucking super sick.
Let's shred,
I
Paul.
definitely.
Actually, funny story. I was listening to Paul Wardingham. Well, Fallujah was. We were listening to his solo album when we crashed our van. I remember that. Like we just
Oh
had it
man.
on. It was like we were listening to it all night on repeat. We were just being lazy and it just kept playing. And I just remember the shred happening over and over. And then yeah, I remember like the moments before we like slipped off the road and like crashed. It was Paul Wardingham's solo album. That's hilarious. Just
Oh
remember that.
man, that's fucking crazy. So I had a friend in high school, something similar happened to him. So he like on a curve flipped his car and was
Yeah.
listening to like I want to say he was listening to Muse or something. It's like this one
Yeah.
specific song and he said that after that he couldn't listen to that song anymore.
Oh
He
wow.
had
You
like
got some
flashbacks.
trauma.
Yeah. So Paul says, "Oh shit." Haha.
I know. How random is that, right? That's weird. Yeah.
Quite a memory to put to an album.
Yeah. Totally just brought it back.
Rad, dude. So I've obviously been keeping up with you as much as I can on the socials and
Yep.
seen you've been doing the challenges and all that shit. So I tried to do my thing on one of them.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, dude. That was awesome. I was stoked on it.
Trying to keep up, man, but you guys are so fucking sick. So it's
So many
inspirational at the very
shredders.
least. Yeah, so many shredders. So I saw that made it pretty damn far. It got a shit ton of views, a lot of people engaged. So what made you think of that?
Yeah. I was surprised. I mean, honestly, I just was trying to be consistent with putting up videos. Like, I just noticed I find more students through that. People just see me playing and get like, we'll start talking to each other and talk about lessons. So I'm just trying to stay consistent with it and also keeps my chops up and keeps me busy. And I was kind of just sick of like, just like, here, watch me. Like, next thing, watch me, watch me. I was like, oh, like, I got to think of something that's like, it's like kind of interactive, kind of engages with the community of guitar players that I have. And I was just making another jam video like I always did. And I was like, oh, this backing track is coming out pretty cool. Sometimes I'll just jam and if like the backing track is coming out a little more like vanilla, like I don't think I would use this for any albums, but this will be an awesome backing track. So like,
Yeah.
I might as well just make this available to people and see if anybody wants to try it. And tons of friends tried it. It was really awesome. It was really cool. Shared a bunch of it to my Instagram and all that. What was funny is I didn't think of it at the time, like because I was just making the track and just freely putting chords together. That it like changes keys halfway through. So I think that like threw a lot of people off. It doesn't change
Yeah.
keys; it changes the mode it plays. It goes from like B minor or a B minor 7 kind of thing to like a B minor with a major third or something. And it was like, oh shit, maybe I should have done that for like the first challenge. It's something that like you'd have to do all these changing and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I saw a lot of
Keep
really
up,
good
bitch.
ones.
Change modes. You can't change modes. Come on.
Yeah, might as well. I guess that's why it's a challenge. It would have been too easy if it was just like the same key the whole time or whatever. But yeah, that was fun. I'll probably do some more of that. I'm actually working on putting together playthroughs. That was just kind of to keep me busy, putting together little clips and riffs and free tabs for people. But now I got a light setup actually coming today, and then I'm going to start like putting together some legit videos. It's pretty stoked. I mean, might as well, man. I mean, going to be here for at least another month. Who knows like what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Dope, dude. Yeah, I
And
mean, you got the time, right? So there's that whole argument going on now where I've kind of seen it all over the socials that it's do you try your hardest to be productive and like stress yourself out if you're not being productive during this time where you're at home,
yeah,
or do you
yeah,
like, is it okay for you to relax and kind of, maybe not necessarily be productive? For
yeah,
me, it's like I got to use this time. I've got the time to, if I'm stuck at home while I'm off from work, I'm gonna try and do everything that I can and keep myself
yeah.
busy. For me, that's like what keeps me sane. But I get it for other people.
Yeah, and it makes you, I don't know about you, but it makes you happier just like getting little things done. Like, oh, you got one video done, you got these lessons done today, you got the plans done, you got a riff done or something like that. And it's just like, you don't get caught up in like, oh, today sucked, like I was lazy or whatever. Like, I don't know, it feels good to be doing stuff. And honestly, it doesn't really feel that much different than like when I would come home from a tour. Like, okay, I'm home from a tour, I've got 4 weeks uh, to get something done, like make this like at the end of that 4 weeks, you don't want to be like, damn, I just sat around and didn't do shit, just like watch movies or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
only difference is I can't go outside now. There's like even less, because usually I would like give up a Friday or a Saturday or something and be like, all right, I'm gonna go do something this weekend. Or there's always shows in LA. There's always homies like texting you to hit up. But now it's just like nobody's hitting you up. Your Friday and Saturday and Sunday is gonna be completely free. Like it's crazy. So I've been teaching 7 days a week. Like if
Oh
someone wants
shit.
to do it on a Saturday or Sunday, or Monday, I don't care. Late at night, I have someone who lives in Germany or whatever, so I'll do lessons with them super late at night and whatever, man.
Nice, dude. That's fucking kick ass. Well, I think that's a good segue. So, you're offering lessons and guest spots right now. So maybe if you
Yeah,
want to do the first big shred on the big shred, I think that would be a good time.
a big shred. What do you
Yeah,
mean, like play some music?
play some music for the homies.
Yeah, dude, I will play through a metal song, but I turned off my Wi-Fi, so we'll do that.
All right.
But yeah, if anybody's interested, I am teaching lessons, a lot of technique, a lot of guitar theory. Most of my students right now are learning a lot of like fretboard awareness, like guitar theory, how to be able to use the modes, how to be able to use them while you're writing, how to basically see them as colors and not really like a distraction or whatever. What do we say? What should we start off with? Should we go Flesh Prevails or should we go Dreamless, Undying Light?
Let's get a
Who's in the
little. Let's get a little flesh prevails.
All right, let's do that. Let's see. So I don't have any effects, so I'm just gonna raw dog it. But oh, Nico Santora's in the house.
Nico, what's good?
Yeah, everybody go check out Nico. He's been playing with Fallujah for the last like 4 tours now, and we're writing some music. So I'm not saying anything, but I don't know. All right, let me see what the volume's like real quick. How's that? Can you hear?
Give me a little more. Yeah, that's good.
Sapphire. I think I'm actually going to do a playthrough for this tomorrow or something like that. Anybody who's a guitar nerd, this is a Kiesel X model. This thing you just put out, it's got a whammy bar on it. This thing is just so much fun to play. I feel like I'm playing a Cybertruck, like the Elon Musk guitar or something. All right, let's rip this. I don't think I've played this for a month almost now. Let's see. Yeah, unique leader, shut up. Yeah. Oh, wow. The Chinese crap. Nice, dude. Felt all right. I fucking started the song with it on the. I don't know if guitar players can relate, with the guitar on the wrong leg on the middle of it. I'm like, oh, damn it. Well, I knew the solo was coming. I was like, I don't really want to play the solo on that leg. And I was like thinking ahead, like, oh shit. Yeah, you don't think about that when you're standing. I played that song for years. It's kind of just like, just close my eyes and let it happen. Well, yeah, there's always the songs that I say, oh, we've toured on those songs, they're fine. Or there's a song I've never toured on where I know I just need extra work on. It's like, it's the same every time. Like when we get together, we usually get together in the Bay Area. We'll do, like, I'll set it up so we could have at least like 2 or 3 days to practice with each other. And the songs that we played before, they're just super easy. We just have to spend tons of time on the songs that are like brand new to us live. It's just, you just have to like consciously like look at your hands and be like, oh shit, that next part's coming. The other songs, it's not much. So usually if I used to practice a lot leading up to tours and stuff, especially before we started this kind of cycle. I think our first tour back from like taking a break was with Obscura. So like the whole month, maybe a couple weeks leading up to that, I would just like stand in my living room and just like play through the songs, get used to them. But like when you just got off tour like a month prior or something like that, I just go practice with the guys for like 2 days, and we just play through the set, simply just play through the set maybe once or like twice or 3 times. It's like a 45-minute set, and then if you stop, you're like, someone here heard something weird or we need to fix something, that can end up taking like 3 or 4 hours or something, 2 or 3 sets. So, and then after that we start feeling good. So yeah, not too much practice. There's always just the songs that I've never played live where I've got to like consciously like think about the next move. And I'm kind of like, when I've played a song a bunch of times, I actually change the way I play it all the time. Like, oh, that's a better fingering for that, or that's a better voicing, or as I've started to use hybrid picking more in my playing, and not just to be like, oh, I want to use hybrid. Hybrid picking just makes everything super easy to play. You move your hand less, like, so you're less probability of like you slipping or like missing the string or whatever. So I'll kind of change the way I play some things. So like the older songs, they've like gone through it a bunch of times and had me like kind of shape them in a way that's like super easy to play. So the newer songs, I'm just kind of playing how I recorded them on the album, and sometimes I have to like rearrange it or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I could send you more, man. the last couple of weeks, I've been that's all I've been doing is like writing licks for my students pretty much. So I have just like this whole folder full of all these like finger twisters. I'll send you a bunch of them. Yeah, and I think that's most of the time, like when you have like maybe someone who's really new to guitar playing or something, it's not that they just haven't learned enough. They just are doing. They usually just have really bad habits and are just like that's why they can't seem to get it clean or get to certain speeds. It's just like they're holding their pick weird in a way that's like uncomfortable for their wrist, or they have their fingers weird, or they're not bending them or something. They end up all flat, and it's like if you got rid of all those habits, you'd be like way ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's another big thing too. It's just getting rid of those bad habits, or starting with a good foundation of not even developing those habits, because
Yeah,
that's another really hard part about it all is if you develop those bad habits starting from scratch again. And I feel like the longer you play, the less patience you have to do stuff like that.
oh, true. Yeah, and it really isn't. It really isn't that hard to get rid of certain bad habits because I've had some really weird ones. Like when I was really young, I used to play my guitar kind of like this, like because I have a freak thumb. You know what I mean? I know a
You
lot of
got the
people have.
Tosin thumb. I can't do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit, dude.
But when I hold the pick, like when I was young, I would just grab it, and for some reason, it felt like the right thing to do or whatever. But I had a teacher that told me to change it. You know what I mean? I used to hold my fingers out like this, and it may seem like not that much of a difference. Put your fingers like this, put your fingers like that, but you can straight up see it in the waveforms when you're recording. Like, oh, this is clearly you're getting cleaner takes. You sound cleaner, and it's probably just these fingers aren't just flopping around, dragging your hands like as you're trying to play these high speeds. Like
Yeah.
it just took me maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I had to just keep staring at my hand, like, stop doing that, stop doing it. You know what I mean? But eventually get used to it. You just have to put in the work.
Yeah, it's tough. It's the Paul Gilbert thing, right? Where that's what I would always try and emulate, like that tucked in fingers, like real tight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of the greatest guitar players, it looks effortless to them. I think it's not just like they're so good, it looks effortless because they try to make it as easy for them to play. You know what I mean?
yeah, totally. Speaking of, I did a lesson last week. Now I took a lesson with Brandon Ellis from Black Dahlia.
Yeah, no, Brand.
The guy is phenomenal,
The
and
vibrato.
yeah, the vibrato. I
The
picked
vibrato.
his brain on the vibrato and some other things for efficiency, and he definitely opened my eyes to some stuff. So shout out to Brandon. Um, so yeah, man. So you're offering some lessons. Are you doing guest spots now too? Should people be hitting you up for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, man. I mean, I usually, people are kind of always sending me messages, and I always have like a couple I have to finish. Guess always kind of take like a couple days for me because I like them to sound really sick. I kind of like improv them and then eventually like put in the finer details after I got a nice improv take, make it all fancy and stuff. So yeah, send me the music. If I like it, I'll do it. Like I won't just do it on anything. It has to be something I think I can make sound good. Because sometimes people send me and I'm like, I'm just gonna be honest, like I don't think my style will fit on that. Like I know you just probably just want some shred on it, but yeah, if you got a band or something, send me a message. You can send me an email to carstairslessons at gmail.com for anything, guesswork, session work, guitar lessons, questions. Honestly, I'm at my computer writing music and doing lessons all day. So if you guys, the people that already follow me on Instagram or Facebook know I engage with everybody, talk to everybody. So yeah, go follow me on Instagram too, Scott Carstairs.
Hell yeah, and I can definitely attest to the guest spot thing because
Oh
if
yeah.
if you're watching right now, you're getting some insider info. Scott does have a guest solo on the new Abiotic.
Yeah.
So we linked up on that like a month or two ago now,
Yeah.
and it's super fucking sick, and I'm just so fucking stoked for people to hear it, dude. It came out so
Yeah.
good.
So that's the thing is like, a lot of people seem to be the last like maybe 4 or 5 guest spots. It was like a fusion clean guitar, like chill section, and I just kind of like do whammy bar and shred over it. But this was like a metal section, so
Oh yeah.
I just went off on it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna shred and like tickle all my my like tech death solo G spot. Christian Munzer, right? Like there was like diminishing shit. Yeah, they'll hear it. I like that solo. It's really
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. It was diminished. It was still metal, but it was still
yeah.
you, which is the biggest thing. It's like one of the things that I look up to you the most, as a guitar player. It's like I can hear it and I know it's you, and I'm sure you get that all the time.
Yeah.
But it's developing a style is another facet of guitar in and of itself.
Totally, yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess we could talk about that maybe even like how do players do that? You know?
Yeah. It's funny. I think for the most part, it's hearing small things in other people's playing and really meshing them together. And then, if you're, I feel like I'll say, if you're lucky or dedicated enough, you can find something that makes the playing you. But it's
Yeah,
tough because these days it's like everybody's done everything. You know what I mean? But then there's
yeah,
still people coming out with innovative and their own voice. So it's,
yeah.
it's tough.
I think if you could just make choices where you're kind of allotted that are just like that just come from you, like meaning like everybody kind of starts at the same playing field as far as like if you're gonna play metal, generally there's gonna be like drums and shit. Like there's gonna be drums and guitars and vocals. It's kind of the same setup, but like where you get a chance to express yourself differently is like the choices you make. Maybe the scales you choose, the tempos you choose, and if it's constantly you're always looking to yourself or your bandmates for those choices, it'll always come out to be like that's something that's represents you and unique. But if you're constantly like, oh, I want to sound like that band, or oh, this band is sick, so I'm going to do stuff like that. Then you're just going to sound derivative, like constantly. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the bands and artists I see that sound super unique. It's just kind of like they've always just kind of followed their own interests while still, participating in whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Just because you use Facebook or are in a band doesn't mean like you're like everybody else. Like, there's still
Yeah.
things you could make unique. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Are any standout players for you right now?
Oh well, I mean, I have my go-tos that I've like always been obsessed with.
Yeah.
These are like older guys like Scott Henderson.
Yep.
I love Perry Nelson's playing. I like his tone, and the way he ticks, and his note choice, and like that balance of shredding and like improvisation and like not too many notes.
Her's a man.
I always loved Alan Holdsworth. Always loved Greg Howe. Yeah, but there's like a lot of awesome young players too. Like a good friend of mine is Wes Railkill. He's a Kiesel artist. He's super awesome. Raphael
Nice.
Trujillo.
Yeah.
Toured with him in Obscura. Oh, we all hung out in Boston together.
Yeah.
At, Berkeley. Yeah, that guy's insane.
That guy's
I felt
incredible,
lucky
dude.
been able to play with a lot of cool artists. And what's cool is a lot of them are Kiesel artists. Like it's really cool that everybody's playing Kiesel guitars. Seems like it's kind of blown up in the last 4 years, really. Like, I mean, I'm sure right? You played Ibanez and like.
Yeah.
Are you playing Ormsby right now?
Playing Ormsby right now. I played Ibanez before, but funny enough, my first 7-string was a Carvin. It was like my senior year of high school. I was like 18 years old and jumped on the bandwagon because I had a guitar teacher at the time. Shout out to Santiago Dobles from Agora. He had a super sick Carvin, and I was like, oh, I need to get on that. And I played that one for a long time. Some of the first Abiotic songs were written on that guitar. So.
Oh, really? That's sick. And it had the old logo on it, I'm sure. The
old logo, and I put like my name on the truss rod cover and stuff.
Yeah, your signature
like,
guitar.
oh, my sweet signature. Awesome, man. So let's get into a little bit of tour. So you said you're supposed to be on the Allegiant tour now. Last one you guys did before that was the Beyond Creation tour, right?
Well, before the Allegiant tour, we did a Mexican headliner.
Oh,
we played Guadalajara, in Mexico City, Leon. Oh, I'm blanking on the other one. It's Monterrey, something like that. I don't know. I had fun, man. I love Mexico so much. It's so sick. The food is so good. I feel like I'm in just like a spicier version of LA or something. It feels, you know what I mean? The food's open super late, and like the people, so much fun. You know what I mean? Like I like America and Americans. You know, they're hella cool, very cool. But sometimes that's kind of like the too cool. You know, like when you're hanging out at the shows there, you know, everybody wants to take pictures, have a conversation, talk to you, and you know, everyone wants to engage. Super fun. We had tons of fun, and like luckily it was like right before all this chaos, really, because we were seeing it in the news, and we were for those shows we had to fly to like 2 or 3 of the shows or whatever, so we're constantly in these airports, and the airports were just freaking out, and like had all these advertisements, and we're like, that's not so bad. And dude, it was funny, like on the way home, it was the last show, and it was Mexico City was the final night, so we just had to play and then like get like 3 hours of sleep and then go to the airport or whatever. I had like an allergy attack. Sometimes I get these like crazy allergy attacks where my eyes will get like look like I smoked like 8 blunts in a row, like straight super red, like watery, and I just won't stop sneezing. Like I was sneezing the whole way on our Uber ride to the airport, and then I'm sitting and we have to like wait hours in the airport, you know. And I'm just dying, and like all the old people are looking at me like I'm the virus carrier.
Oh no!
You're the one that kills us. Like I was like so embarrassed, and it was so bad. I was just like sneezing into a rag because like I was sneezing so much that like I would have like used a whole tree worth of tissues. So I did. It was just like the gnarliest, hilarious thing, and yeah.
You're the fucking reason Mexico decided to put a stop to.
Yeah, they watched me. It's a giant dude walk through, spreading diseases.
Like now, we saw Scott. We're done with Americans for a little bit.
Yes, this leaking white basically is walking through our halls.
It's leaking white.
Yeah. But yeah, before that, like literally, because that was like the 27th or the 26th, I think, was like the first show of the Mexico run, and we got home like the 4th, like the 2nd or 3rd of February. So we got home in the same month from we did a tour with Darkest Hour, Bloodlet, Un Misere, and yeah, I think that's it. Am I missing somebody? I think I am missing somebody. I forgot the opening band, but they were sick. They were like a thrash band. That was sick. That was super fun. I used to be, I guess I still am, a big Darkest Hour fan. So it was like seeing all that. And those guys are really awesome. Treated us really well.
Nice.
You know, being on a bus, super chill, super fun. And yeah, the Corona stuff was still going around during that time too. I remember being like, hopefully we won't deal with anything on the way home from the airport. But yeah, that was like a 2 or 3 weeks. That was super fun. And then the tour before that was in November or like September, October with Beyond Creation. Man, I love that tour. That was such a good time. It was in America. And the previous time we toured America post our new album was with Chaos and Carnage. So like Chaos and Carnage was like Whitechapel and like Dying Fetus and like Spite and some other bands. They were like mostly deathcore bands, mostly like, you know, heavy deathcore acts. And sometimes we blend well with that, but sometimes we don't. You know, we're super like at like LSD, black metal, tech death kind of like, you know. So sometimes it's like when we play in front of those crowds, they just stare at us like, what is happening? You know what I mean? So it was fun because the crowds were huge, and you know, like even though Beyond Creation's crowds weren't as big as this giant Chaos and Carnage Fest or whatever, like the crowds were way more engaging, and they were clearly like tech death bands. I think Beyond Creation and Fallujah just goes together really well, like the kind of atmospheric kind of vibes or whatever. So yeah, I had so much fun on that tour, and I've known those guys for because we were both fans of each other's bands. So like when we went up to Canada, they came out to the show. I was like, dude, I've been listening to what was that first Beyond Creation album? It's super sick.
Omnipresent.
I think so. I had it in my truck for the longest time, just over and over.
It's so fucking good, dude.
Yeah, and Forrest played bass on that or whatever, and I toured with him a couple times. But yeah, we were just huge fans of each other. We didn't know it, but when we met in Canada, eventually, we just instantly became friends. Anytime they'd come around here, we'd go to their shows, vice versa or whatever. So we finally got to do a tour together. So we just had a really good time. And then Equipoise opened, which had members of Beyond Creation and Sanjay, right? From
Yeah.
you just had a podcast from him, and then
Yep.
Nick Pavoni, like all really good guys. Like everybody's nice. Everybody really likes. They have a big passion for music. Like that's why they're there to play music, which I wouldn't believe it, but many people are on tour for reasons besides music, party
Yeah,
and like.
that's fair. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I caught both of those tours actually, so I was excited to be able to
Yeah,
catch you dudes
yes,
on that huge tour with Whitechapel and Dying
right.
Fetus, and
Yeah,
to catch you guys at the Palladium in Worcester,
yeah, that was fun.
and caught you guys in Boston on that tour as well. And like you said, I mean, the venue wasn't as big or whatever, but if I remember right, it was a weekday and it was still packed out.
Yeah, it was a good crowd, man. It was raining super
And it
hard
was
that day.
raining too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, super hard that day. Yeah, Boston's cool. It's an interesting place. I think I remember leaving that venue, like a tree fell down, and like we couldn't get
Shit.
out. It was so crazy. It's a good
God
time.
damn.
It was memorable, fun.
Yeah, it gets crazy windy over here, dude. There's certain days that there's a wind advisory and there's just shit flying all over the fucking place.
And the streets are like super tight. Like you can't get more than one car through some of those streets. So it's like if something falls down, it's like whole many blocks is screwed up.
Yeah, this place was built obviously for like horse and carriage, and they just never fucking changed it. So it's just like good luck, especially with a van and trailer and shit.
Uh,
Cool,
but
man.
yeah, man.
So tour habits. So when you're on the road, do you get into any kind of routine or anything like that? Or are there things that you try and do like every day?
Yeah, I mean, as I've gotten like older and been doing tours, I remember the first tours I did when I was like 19 or 20. It just felt like you had no time. Like you were so like I'm sure you felt like that too when you were younger. Like it was just like a whirlwind of things happening, and you before you knew it, like you were already going to sleep in the hotel room or the van or whatever. You like didn't get a chance to do anything. I remember
Yep.
always like, oh, I'm on this tour in my spare time. I'm going to read this book, or I'm going to write this riff, or get better at my improv or something. And then you end up just like not doing any of that. like,
Yep. Oh,
so like as I've
every
gotten
time.
older, yeah, I think it's because you get freaked out about the show. You want it to be ready. You want all your strings to be ready, and you like get caught up on all these different things. But as you start getting used to all that, and you don't really like you're not as stressed out about it. It's just kind of like, oh, I'll get that done. Like it gets a lot easier. Like you know what I mean? For me, like I don't really like I'll play my guitar if like that's what's going on in the green room, if that's what we're all hanging out to do. Like, oh, let's jam with each other, let's talk about music. But if that's not the case, I probably won't like pull out my guitar until about like 20 minutes before changeover, right? Because during changeover, you usually got stuff to do. I have like my exercises that I do. I do the same exercise every time. I just warm up, and I realize if you spend all day playing for like a couple hours, you could actually burn yourself out before you
Yeah.
play. You want to have like a nice, like you just got on the guitar, so you're still fresh, but your hands are warmed up, so you're not just like totally like cold or whatever. So like there's still excitement when you're playing or whatever. So yeah, I just like do my 20-minute warm up, make sure all my batteries, change my strings I think I was doing every 2 days. So just like it's easy and it's fun if you time it with the other band members, then it's just like string change day. So you don't even
Yeah.
have to think. Just like string change day, okay. We just all sit around, change your strings. So yeah, as far as the show, that's how that goes. It gets pretty like streamlined by the middle of the tour. It's like 20 minutes before, like everything's already set up. Let's just do our thing. And we have a rig to where I just put that thing on stage basically and give the front of house a whip full of like 10 lines, and all of we're all on the like Sennies, and we have in-ears, and we can mix the X32 with our phone, so the mix is like totally dialed in every night, and really just have to walk up and turn it on, tune, make sure the guitar didn't like go out of tune from the heat of the stage or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. But before the show, the main routine is always finding coffee. I think
Yeah.
it's just and the people that have been on tour with us, they know just follow Fallujah. We will find you the dankest coffee. And if we
Fuck
didn't,
yeah.
that's because there was no dank coffee in that town. Like I think we come together as a group on that more than anything. It's just finding really good coffee, and then the
That
rest is just like I don't know, park if the weather's good, parking lot, working out, or throwing a football or something. I don't know. Tour's pretty chill. I try not to do too much. Just trying to work on my chops and stay chill. You know. Get there
Nice.
early. Yeah. For touring bands, no one's touring now, but just get there early. Your life is just, there's so many problems you could avoid if you just go early. Like get a flat tire or your starter doesn't work or something like that. There's just a million trillion things that just like your van could break or something could happen. And if you just had an extra couple hours, you'd be fine. Like, yeah, I don't know.
That's excellent advice. Like, shoot, you always have to add 2 to 3 hours to the commute
Yeah.
time. Always.
Because I'm sure people will sit there and they're like, "What should we leave, man? Like, I want to party. I don't want to get up early or whatever." And it's like, well, it only takes us 6 hours to get there, so let's leave 6 hours before we're supposed to be there. Then, like, no one thought that like all these 100 things would happen, or someone's gonna have to like stop at a gas station, or they're gonna shit their pants and they're gonna wait.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, where you're just like, no, we didn't plan for this, and
Which happens very often. So if you're calculating for a drive, you got to plan for the shits and the food and
yeah,
fucking
dude, just anything, flat tires,
all that shit.
bad gear. I know we have a habit of shaming the last person who's in the van.
That's a
Shaming.
great idea. That's a great idea.
We just call him the last man. Oh, last man. Look, it's last man.
Last
Hey,
man.
look who decided to show up. The last guy.
That's an excellent idea, especially if it's like, all right, we got a long drive tomorrow. We want to crash, so we're gonna do this, but we got to get up early to be able to make the fucking drive.
Yeah.
And then there's always the one guy that you're like, hey, dude, we were supposed to be up an hour ago. You're gonna want to take a shower or some shit, so let's just hurry the fuck up, man. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always got to be like a tour mom or dad or someone, or tour manager or something that's like, just so you know, guys, you should probably shower before you go to bed, not when you wake up.
Are you that guy?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. But most of my dudes have been touring as long as I have, so
Yeah, it's true.
really. But
If you're
sometimes
seasoned.
everybody forgets. Like I'll forget stuff and be like, "Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do that," or whatever. But as long as we're all looking after each other, like same thing with leaving shit at the venues. Like,
Oh,
you just gotta always, even if it's not yours, man. Like, take it to the next venue because it's someone left it or whatever. I can't even tell you how many times. Oh, that's somebody on the tours. I don't know. I'll put it in my van, and bring it out the next day, and dude's like, "Oh my god, dude!" Yeah.
you always got to do the dummy check. That's
Oh yeah, dude.
way
I've done me
clutch.
2-3 times. I don't want to lose anything. It's so annoying. So annoying. Especially when you were younger and you lost a bunch of stuff. I remember being like just younger and just doing dumbass shit all the time.
I for sure have nightmares of like playing a set and then putting my guitar somewhere and then we're loading out and I don't know where my guitar is.
Dude, we could have a whole podcast on nightmares.
Yeah.
Dude, like we have a group chat with the band, and all the time I'll be like, I had a tour nightmare, and we'll tell each other our tour nightmares, and it's always
shit.
like the same. I'm sure you've had one too, man. It's always like the same thing. It's like the show is going to start in 5 minutes, like all your strings are missing, or like for some reason your rig is not working, and when you go look at your rig, it's like 300 wires going in random places,
Oh yeah.
and like 3 are unplugged, and like just stressing out, and it's like, oh, I'm missing one pedal and it's a mile away in the van or something, and like running, and you're 30 minutes late to the set. It's always the same thing for me. It's always like a week before I'm about to go on tour, and it's just the most disastrous situation.
And it's like the things that do come up, and then in your dreams or your nightmares, they're just exasperated like crazy because your rig eventually something's going to happen to it, and you are eventually, hopefully not, but you are going to forget some shit somewhere, and you're going to have to run off stage really quick and go grab it. And
life has never like turned out as bad as my dreams, I think.
Well, good.
The last tour, when I got home from Mexico, I had a tour dream too. It was like we all rolled up to the venue basically, and it was like it was like the Mexican like countryside for some reason in this venue, right? Because there was like 2 buildings, and then the rest was desert.
Yeah.
And like everybody got all the gear out, everybody's loading up, and I was like, "Yo, where's all my shit?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's in the car, like across the field." So like in my dream, I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll go get my shit." Like in the walking across the field, instantly the sun sets, and I'm like alone in the middle of the field, and there's like ghost blue lights, and I'm just trying to get my gear back to the venues.
Like your whole rig by yourself, just like
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Shit.
Fear of being shot or something. I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, should I
yeah. Let's jam one
play
more
another
tune.
song? Yeah. All right.
Totally. Let jump in the chat really quick. Say what's up to some people. So,
Hello, chat.
Steven Taranto's in the chat. That dude is a fucking
Oh,
super
Shredder.
shredder, man.
I
Holy
think we've
shit.
had a messenger conversation once or twice or something like that.
Yeah, I think him and I may have too. And dude is killing the game right now. So, shout out to Steven. Um, we've
My thing
got.
is not opening right now, but yeah, let me know if anybody's saying what's up.
I got you. Mary Sweeney's in the chat.
Oh, I know Mary Sweeney.
Mary's
She's my favorite
amazing.
guitarist.
She takes the sickest pictures of all of our guitars. Noel, what's up, Noel? He's asking what shirt it is I'm wearing. So I'm wearing a Cattle Decap shirt. Shout out to
Cattle
Cattle.
Decap.
And
That new record's sick.
new
I don't know how
record
new
is
it
so
but
fucking sick. And
super sick.
I'm gonna blame those guys for Corona because they put out that song "Bring Back the Plague."
They brought it back, dude.
They did it by themselves with fucking heavy ass riffs.
What a sick, like, coincidental marketing ploy.
Have you seen their music video, dude? That music video they put out for the
I saw,
song?
like you know, Facebook's flying by. I saw it, so I kind of understood the premise of what was going to happen, but I had to like go do something. But
Yeah.
I check it out for sure. It's like someone glued to their TV or something like.
You should definitely check it out. It's them. They basically filmed a music video all in their houses. So everybody filmed their part of the video on their phones at home.
Dude, sick.
And
Oh right, it's social distancing.
Dave, their drummer, didn't have a kit, so he's just like air drumming. It's pretty awesome.
Right.
So I think it'd be fitting. We didn't get to talk about it too much. We're about to have Dan on, but Undying Light. So I think you gonna do a little jam from Undying Light?
I was gonna do Void of Lines.
Oh, okay, well we can do that too.
But yeah, Undying Light. Go check that out. You know, it just came out last year.
Yeah, check it out.
I think it's now out for a year. I'm already working on a new album, but I love that album. The mix is just so huge. That's the first album with our newest vocalist, Tony Palermo. I love the way his vocals came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super sick. And I kind of love that it pisses people off too. Like whatever. But
I was
yeah,
talking
really
with Andrew about it. It's like you got to do something different. You got to step your game up. You got to, you got to spread your wings a little bit.
Yeah, and just like the way the albums were going, it was feeling really derivative, and I just wanted to kind of take a left turn and try some more, focus more on atmosphere, you know what I mean, and try, like I didn't want to really just be like ripping off my old albums in a way, you know what I mean, and then like I started just seeing it in the scene, like everybody's kind of doing like the same kind of shit. This is annoying. So it was just my thought was let's just try something like fully atmospheric and almost like post tech death or something like that. But funny enough, the new album's coming out super techy and all crazy because I'm just kind of like let's go dumb on this thing.
Hell yeah!
Kind of cool
man.
when
Stoked
the
to
way
hear.
the band is set up. You don't have to. It's not like now like the last album. Now I have to write this album. It's like I just do whatever I want for whatever album, whatever I feel like that year. It's like.
Yeah, it's a timestamp, man. It's got to be a timestamp of where your head is at.
Yeah, but if no one's heard that album, I'll play some of my favorite songs off of that. Eyes Like the Sun, love that one. Let's see, Glass House, the solo on that is insane. Dopamine, that's one of my favorites because I just like sometimes we go for a song conceptually and we kind of wanted something that like lyrically and the sound kind of all matched up to this kind of feeling that we were trying to get. It's kind of like apathy. It's kind of like, being sedated by, like dopamine is the kind of like the play on words for people just like going to get dopamine hits from digging into their electronics or whatever. Kind of a similar concept to that new, not new, but the Perfect Circle album, that album that came out, the Silicone Obsession. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, it's called. I can't remember this song. Contrarian or something. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, I didn't jam it, admittedly.
Dude, I love that one. That one's sick, man. Yeah,
check
and
it
the new
out.
tool is good. Yeah, man, I'll rip this song and then we'll let Dan DeFonce.
Let's do it up.
Who's part of Continental, right?
Continental Touring. Yep.
Yeah, that's shout out. That's our booking agent as well.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Let me see. Let me get sure the volume's all right. That ought to do it. All right, we heard something. I'm on the right knee this time. Yeah. Hear you. Shit. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that'd be sick to see you, man. Yeah, dude, we'll do it. That's sick. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody who's still here. Still-
All right, guys. So we just finished up our interview with Scott. Looks like my mic went out again, but I went ahead and fixed it. So awesome. So give me one sec here. We're gonna go ahead and get our next guest on Dan DeFonce from Continental Touring and Unique Leader Records. Appreciate everybody bearing with me today because, of course, when things go wrong, they go very wrong. But we're making it work. Was doing my best to mute my mic while Scott was playing to see if I could mitigate any audio issues, and then I just continue to leave myself muted, of course. All right, so I'm going to be getting Dan on in here in a second. Going to look through the chat while Dan gets ready to jump on. The homie Steve Tinnen just jumped into the stream. Robert Morey from Fallujah is also hanging out with us. Alrighty. Dan, what is happening, dude?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
Hanging
Better.
in there?
Yeah.
Thanks for your patience there. We had a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning. Had to restart the stream over, but we're trucking along. We gotta just kind of keep going like with the rest of the bullshit that's going on. Just fight through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks again for coming on again to the Big Shred podcast. I really wanted to have as many folks from all different aspects of the music industry on the show, talking about what's going on. I've had a few musicians on already.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, Sanjay, Cheney, a lot of people giving their insight on the whole situation. And like I mentioned when we were talking before, I feel like your side of the fence on things, there's going to be a lot of valuable insight coming from there, because it's the almost the thankless part of this industry, unfortunately, where we on the band side, I hope, tell you guys how much we appreciate what you do and are the ones contacting you and all that good stuff. But the fans don't see that shit. They don't know what goes into booking a tour. And so some do, some of the more savvy folks, but for the most part, it's just like, why the fuck aren't you coming to my town? And it's the, they should be yelling at you, right?
yeah, right. They should be yelling at me.
So how are things going on your end, man? From personal perspective, how's the quarantine been treating you? What have you been up to?
I really don't go out much anymore, besides to go to like shows and stuff. When I have bands in town. So, and then sometimes if there's a band in town that I want to go see, I will go see them and I'll go out. But I don't know. Like, as I've gotten older, I've kind of just stopped going out. I used to drink a good amount, like every weekend, and I just like stopped doing that. And so it's like, lately I've kind of been getting like the urge, like I want to hang out with my friends, and a lot of my friends live in Dallas. I live in Austin now. So like, I might have this like urge. I want to go, visit them and like hang out for a weekend. So that's what I would do. Like, since living down there, I'd go up there like once a month and just like hang out with everyone. So not being able to do that kind of sucks. But then again, I think about it, it's only been like maybe almost a month.
Yeah, right. It's not.
It hasn't been that long. But overall, it's been fine now. I live with my girlfriend. She works at the hospital down here, Children's Hospital.
Oh, man. How's that going? Are they slammed, or is it more like
not so much? You know, they've canceled like elective surgeries, I think they call them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so not like the important ones. So just to free up room, you know,
For sure.
just in case. And but she's been doing fine. Like, you know, some days are busier than others.
Well,
So
big thanks to her, man. I mean, that's literally she's putting her life on the line every day, going out there and you know,
yeah,
if she's into just taking care of children, and that's huge.
exactly.
So you should definitely be
So
proud, man. I'm sure you
no,
are.
I am. Oh, I am. She's awesome.
Killer, dude.
So yeah.
Yeah, so you're in Texas. So have you always been in Texas?
No, I'm from New York.
Okay.
I moved here, but I moved here 7 years ago.
Okay.
Over 7 years ago.
When we stayed with you, that was in Texas, right?
Yeah.
That was in Dallas.
Was that in Dallas? Where did you guys stay with me?
I'm pretty sure that was in Dallas. It was
a
the house.
It was a house, right? Was it the Seeker guys living there?
It was the house with the big backyard that had that other dog.
Oh, okay. That was in Arlington.
Okay.
I lived in Arlington. My friend Stu has a house. I moved into his house for like 2 years.
There you go. Yeah, that was
a cool
a good
house.
time, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the last time I saw you. And I was like, fuck, that was so long ago now.
I know, dude. It was a while ago. Seriously.
Well, glad to hear you're in Austin, man. I fucking love Austin. So
I do too. There's a lot of stuff to do. More outdoorsy stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Not just the bars.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just that.
People only know 6th Street, man.
It's better than that.
Yeah. So I'm a dickhead. I didn't give you a proper introduction. So for everyone who doesn't know, my friend Dan DeFonce, he's a booking agent for Continental Touring, and is currently the vice president for Unique Leader Records. So when I say, you know, getting his perspective on things and him being on that side of the fence, it's multifaceted as well, because he's not just a booking agent, he works with the label as well, and there's a lot that goes into it on that side, and it affects them, in my opinion, in a bigger way than it even affecting the bands, because from the agent side specifically, it's, as a band, you know, you can't go on tour, you can't go on tour, you've got a merch store, you can do guitar lessons, and you know, there's kind of other streams of revenue, right? But on the booking agent side, your whole thing is just, how do I get as many bands as possible out and on the right tours and doing the right stuff? And that's really the part that's kind of come to a screeching halt, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're still working. Like, I have 2 tours in July that are going to announce this month, and we're just going to play it by ear and just see, you know, what things look like a month before the tour starts. Yeah. You know, 3-4 weeks before. Just before, like, these bands place their merch orders and spend all this money, you know.
That's the big thing. Yeah.
That's the big thing. And I hate to see, you know, for example, like the Origin tour. It was Beneath the Massacre's first tour back in, 7 years?
Yeah,
or something. And then Defeated Sanity hasn't toured here in like 2 years.
Yep.
And a couple of those guys needed visas and stuff. So, you know, they ordered all their merch like a month and a half probably before that tour even started. So before all this shit hit the fan, and then they'd play 3 shows, which crushed. And then that's it. Got to go home. And it's, so I don't want that to happen to like any of these tours, these bands on these tours coming up. So it's been like, you know, a couple of them, like, you know, they were like, well, maybe we should just cancel it. And I'm like, well, if you want, I mean, we could, and we just reschedule it, or we could just roll it out and just play it by ear. Yeah. They're like, you know, well, let's do that. I'm like, because we don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen. And every day we wake up to different news. There's different news outlets that are like, oh, there's a decrease, you know, a decline in deaths or a decline in people getting the coronavirus in this city and this city and this city. So it's like, well, maybe by June, you know, the beginning of June, we'll be okay. So yeah, I mean, I got a couple tours in July that we're going to announce this month. I have an August, September tour that we're going to announce probably sometime this month, probably later this month.
Yeah. Nice.
You know, there's other bands going to be touring this fall too.
For the folks that don't know you, what are some of the bands that you represent?
Let's see. I booked Rivers of Nile, Dark Funeral, Beneath the Massacre, Defeated Sanity, Wolf King, Abigail Williams. Who the heck else do I book? I always like forget. I'm like, Archaic. I've been working with them for a while. Let's see, Aeon, and Hell Followed With, Angel Maker, Black Crown Initiate, Brand of Sacrifice,
Fuck yeah,
Distant
man.
Tomb. It goes on. I mean, it's a
Heavy
whole.
hitters.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm happy with my roster. It's a lot of bands, but you know.
And you're doing Devastation on the Nation too, right?
Yeah, so that should be happening right this second.
Yeah, dude, that's huge.
Thanks.
And you and I go way back,
yeah.
and I say way back, like 7-8 years now.
Oh yeah.
So just to see how you've come up and to see you like have your own festival and booking all these huge bands, it's been fucking awesome to see, dude. So just wanted to say from me and from the boys, we're super proud of what you're doing, man.
Thank you. Yeah, man, I'm stoked on it. Like Devastation should be happening right now. I think it should have been in Austin today.
Ah.
So that's sad, but anyway. But we got to reschedule for next year, February 11th to March 14th.
Nice. Same lineup?
Same lineups, same venues. Crossing my fingers, no venues change.
Nice. That was Rotting Christ?
Yeah, Rotting Christ, Borknagar, Wolfheart, Abigail Williams, and Imperial Triumphant. So
fuck yeah.
Just scaled it down to 5 bands.
Nice.
Easier.
Well, definitely get tickets for that when they're on sale, and
please.
you're feeling comfortable going back to
they're on
shows.
sale now if you want them. But I understand if you have to wait.
Yeah. And there is some Devastation on the Nation merch that you got right as well, right?
Yeah. So I got 700 something shirts.
That's quite a few shirts
yeah,
there, bud.
I've shipped out. We've had 112 orders so far, which is really cool.
Nice.
I've shipped out like 50. Yeah, I think I have like 60 something left to ship out.
You're handling all that?
Office. Yeah, all me. My girlfriend has helped too.
Nice.
But it's like every day I've been going, or like every other day I'll go bring like 10 or 15 and just go to the post office. My least favorite place ever.
Yeah, even more so during all of this, right? Because that's
I mean, they've been organized though.
Yeah,
it's been fine. The people that work at the one right by me are really freaking nice. I'm very appreciative of all of the business I feel like they're getting still, because I know they're in a hard spot right now. The Postal Service.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
They'd be even, I'm sure, getting their hours cut and all that stuff because they don't fuck around.
No, I know. That's the thing. So, but yeah, so I got a bunch of merch left. So if anyone wants any,
snag some merch. Dan will drop maybe a link on where to get that, or just hit him
drop
up.
it in here. Yeah, or just go to the Facebook page. It's on there somewhere. It's devastationonthernation.bigcartel.com.
There you go. Grab some Devastation merch. So let's talk about an article that dropped on where to drop Metal Sucks.
Yesterday.
Metal
Sucks. I did
Sucks.
like Metal Injection, Metal Sucks, Lamb Go.
hit all the regular suspects.
Yeah.
An article with a clickbait title. Shocker.
Yeah. I get why they made it the titles that they did.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a top booking agent, so I don't know why that was the title, but hey, thank you if you think that I am.
If you haven't seen the article, the headline reads something like, top booking agent tells
metal booking agent. Yeah.
Metal booking agent tells you why, tours aren't happening ever again.
Yeah.
Till next year. But tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, they're going to happen. I mean, we're all hoping they're going to happen. But it's mostly like I think everyone just needs to prepare for the worst, because I mean, I've told the bands that I work with, like, hey, listen, we're gonna do these tours, confirm for them, and if things aren't looking good like a few weeks out, we just cancel, and that's it. But I want you guys to be like mentally prepared for this and not be so bummed out when it happens or surprised.
Right.
So it's like, I really hope that when shows start happening, a lot of people do go out and support, because I'm sure a lot of people are antsy to get out to shows. I am.
Yeah, me too, man.
I really am. And it's, but then I have like my worries, and it's like, a lot of people aren't working,
Yeah.
and it's like, are they going to be able to afford these things? Are they going to be able to afford spending 10, 12, 15, 20, $30 for shows? And it's just like, those things worry me. And it's like, I feel like everyone just needs to have that in their head. Like, this may be the case. And I've told bands of mine, like, if your tour does happen, like, in August or whatever, just be ready for some of the shows not to perform that well.
Yeah.
And if they aren't, and the promoter, who's more than likely going to be an independent promoter, that's usually the promoters that I work with are all independent.
Yep.
Besides, sometimes I'll use like Live Nation, AEG here and there. But, if they need help, in a sense, like they need a reduction, I think you guys have to be okay with it. Right. And give and help them, because they just missed out on all this income for, X amount of months with no shows. And they may have not had a side job, or may have not had funds backed up to make them last up until August or September or whatever. So for all we know, there could be some promoters that are going to their shows with no money.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing. And we need to feel for them, and we need to support them, and we can't let them go in the red. We got to help them. So I've told bands that, I'm like, just be ready for that and be nice about it.
Yeah. Those are other folks that we don't think about, right? It's the promoters and the venues that a lot of times they're putting their ass on the line, right? They
really are, man. I've been there before. I used to be a promoter when I was younger. Shit sucks sometimes.
It's tough. It's another thankless part of this industry, It
is. And I think a lot of bands don't think about that, with when they, when a promoter's paying them money, especially like if they lose money, it's like, you got to realize too, like if your band makes this promoter lose money, you can't really expect them to pay you that same guarantee or more next time when you come around.
Right.
So, I mean,
that's another some people, challenge. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's another challenge on this one, right? Where the first tour's coming back,
especially this one.
Who's going to want to do those first tours with the risks of, again, guarantee reductions, and then also, unfortunately, another part of this business is like you're only as good as your last tour, right? So, seeing those numbers on paper, and is the industry, and in quotations, like the industry, are they going to be understanding with lower numbers in the beginning, and even lower record sale numbers, lower all of it,
We just have to be prepared for it all. And I'm not, and I've had a couple people hit me up, like, say that what I spoke out about was dumb or whatever. And I'm just like,
being real,
it's not dumb. It's just reality. And I'm sorry you can't grasp that, I guess, It's just like, you have to, I used to get bummed about a lot of shit when I was younger doing this. And it's like, I've learned to just expect the worst all the time. Even with any of my bigger tours that go out, is like, I don't know what to expect. And I don't want to be like, oh, this is going to crush. And then it doesn't. And then I'm going to be like all bummed out about it.
Yeah, tapering your expectations is another big part of this industry.
Yeah, I just like to be surprised. Like, when we did that Rivers of Nile headliner last year.
Oh, man, shit crushed.
Yeah, or was it last year? Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't remember the time right now.
The the Owls tour, right, where they played the full record?
Yeah, the Owls one, yeah. We didn't know, to be really honest with you. We were like, I'll probably do like 100, 200 people. And it was doing like 300, 400, some a little bit lower. And we were just surprised by all of it. We were taken back by it. We had no idea. We had no clue this was going to happen. And it did. And that feeling you get when you're like, you expect the worst, or just like the low, you just expect like bare minimum, and you come out like with these higher numbers, you're just like, holy shit. You just feel so much better about it all. And I'd rather feel that way.
Yeah. It's just
you know?
setting your expectations in the right way,
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. It's way better to be surprised than to be disappointed. So just
exactly.
prepare yourself for the worst.
Yeah, yeah.
So with all this going on,
Hmm.
with all of your bands, how many tours would you say have canceled? Like if you have like a roundabout number.
Let's say Devastation, Origin. There's two, three, like four, like probably total bands of mine that lost tours this spring is like probably 8 or 9.
Wow.
And then Stefan, my boss, he owns the agency. He had there's a good amount. I mean, Flesh God Apocalypse was a really big one.
Yeah. My buddy Eugene,
Oh,
he was drumming for Belphegor on the last tour we did. He was going to be drumming with them,
oh,
and he was way stoked.
damn, yeah. It's being rescheduled for later this year. I don't think it's announced yet, but that, and there's like a few other bigger ones, gone. And it's just like those are like our paychecks are gone.
Yeah.
Luckily, I mean, Stefan and I are smart with our money, so like we're okay.
Good.
But it's like, I mean, shit, dude. If this was like 4 years ago, I'd be screwed.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
That's what I was saying too. I was saying that to Alex Kendrick,
Yeah.
obviously mutual friend of ours. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
out on tour with
Love the guy.
Rings. Yeah, love him. But he was out on tour with Rings in Europe, and
Yep.
they had to fly back, moments notice. And I was just saying, like, dude, if
Oh, yeah.
that was us.
You know how that
I
all went down? I was texting Bryce, their TM. Bryce Lucian is my best friend.
Yeah.
He's the dude that does Devastation with me. And Trump, went live and said that he's putting the travel ban in place and it's going to take effect in 48 hours. So I texted, it's like 8 or 9 o'clock my time when that happened. So like I texted Bryce. I'm like, yo, I don't know if you're awake because, it's like 6 or 7 hours, later over there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Trump just did this. And he was just like, oh my fucking God.
Oh, no.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so you guys got to fly back like tomorrow or the next day latest. And he's like, I'm on it.
Fuck.
And like, he just rounded everybody up and they just pretty much dropped everything they were doing and went to the airport. It was insane. I was
That's
like,
fucking
wow.
crazy, dude. And I couldn't imagine. We were over there a few years ago. I was telling Alex, and
Yeah.
I'd be over there right now probably because
Yeah.
I couldn't afford a ticket to get back. The guys wouldn't be able to afford it. And then
Dude,
we'd be sitting on so much merch.
Yeah. Oh man, that's still over there. Some of the guys have like some of their equipment over there, I think.
Yeah.
And it's Bryce's plane ticket back was like $2,600.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, he said they were looking at tickets and they just kept going up. They click on one and then it would just go away. Then click on another and go away, and all the prices just kept going up, 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 and up.
Fuck.
And I was like, dude, yeah. So he literally dropped $2,600 to get the hell back here, and then the other guys thousands for sure.
Yeah. So
It's fucked up.
definitely go grab some merch from all of those guys who.
Yeah, Rings of Saturn,
and everybody that was on that
Enterprise.
tour
Yeah.
because. Yeah, holy fuck. They definitely dropped some money just to be able to get back home and be with their friends and their families during all this shit.
Oh yeah, shitstorm.
So I guess I was gonna ask you, what the craziest situation was that you bailed a band out, but that kind of sounds like the craziest situation where you bailed some bands out.
I guess that's one of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just been, I don't know, I'm trying to like remember like if there's been like crazy situations. I mean,
Border shit is usually the sketchy stuff, right?
Yeah, that stuff. Oh, there was one time. Oh my God. So Ingested, I picked them up like in 2015. And then, so like a year ago when was it? So it was 2018. They came over in the fall. They did a headliner. And this was when me and Bryce were living together. Lucian, me, him, Bryce Butler, and Andy from Seeker were all living together.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, we lived together for like a year. So Ingested kind of used our house as like their home base. And they flew over for their headline tour, but Jay, the singer, wasn't on the visa, so he kind of got snuck over. And
Fuck.
I don't know if I should say this on this thing, but I doubt they'll ever see this. But it doesn't really fucking matter. He's on the visa now, so whatever. So we go to the airport to pick him up. Right, it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. He flew in, and we're just messaging him on Facebook like, "Hey, we're here. Let us know when you get off the plane." And he texts us back or messages us back like 30 minutes later, like after the flight's landed, and he's like, "Hey, I'm being questioned. Hold on a minute." And we're just like, "Oh man, this is fun." And he like another, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes go by, and he's like, "Hey, I'm on my way. Meet me outside." And we're just like, "What?" And get up with him. He's like, "Yeah." He gets in the car. He's like, "Dude, that was the craziest shit." He's like, they were just like, he's like, he really thought he was going to be deported back home. So,
Fuck.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, one of the officers like left the room for like a second and came back and was like, "Okay, you can leave." And he like stormed out. So he like, I guess he had to go attend to something else. But
Damn.
he got really lucky. And during that time we were waiting for him, we hit up Jason from Origin. And we're like, "Yo, can you do this tour if we fly you out tomorrow?"
Oh shit.
Because he's filled in for Injustice before.
Oh, okay.
And he was home. Origin wasn't doing anything, and Jason will drop everything to go on tour. So that's how he is. And Jason was like, "Yeah, give me the plane ticket. I'll fly in." And I was like literally ready to buy a plane ticket. I had it up.
Jeez.
I was like just waiting for Jay to tell us that he's being deported.
Fuck.
The rest of the Injustice guys were at the house. They were just chilling. Me and Bryce just went to pick up Jay.
God damn. Well, shout out to Jason for just being the homie and being ready to sub in, man. That's dope. But
yeah, there's been crazy shit like that before. It's one thing.
Anyway, if bands are going through some shit, Dan and then their manager are the first people that they're hitting up, and those are the problem solvers.
Yeah.
So, again, shout out to, again, I'll say it, the unsung heroes in the music industry, which are the agents and the managers and everybody that are part of the band's teams making this shit happen.
Yeah.
So let's get a little bit into the label stuff, man. How long have you been with Unique Leader?
How long has it been? It's been over 2 years, hasn't it? I think. Let's see. These are the things I never fucking remember. Working at it. Now I gotta look on my Facebook. Oh, there we go. October 2017.
Nice.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah, man.
Almost 3 years.
Fuck yeah.
I met Eric Lindmark just through the label. I was booking a Unique Leader band or something. I forget what band. And we just became, we just started talking and stuff. And we kind of like just became friends. And, I picked up a couple more Unique Leader bands. I was booking them. And then I just, one day I asked him, me and Bryce asked him, because Bryce was at the label for at least 2 years. Yeah. Just left recently. But, we just asked him like, "Hey, do you have anyone else working for you?" It doesn't seem
help.
Like, are you looking for anyone else? And he was just like, "Yeah, actually." And then we just started talking, and it happened, and he brought us both in, and we, just went from there. And, unfortunately, sadly, he passed away, end of November of 2018. And a lot of changes. I mean, a good amount of changes happened. Luckily, he brought in Jamie Graham, like 6 months before this all happened.
Wow.
And, he used to run Siege of Amida Records. Yeah. And so he's, he worked at Sumerian for a little bit too, like a year or so. So he's definitely very smart. He held this thing together. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of tedious stuff that goes into running a label that I just don't want to do. Yeah. I think he knows that. It's upset him. I don't want to do that. I know I can do it, but I just don't want to do it. But and it just, it took a few months to get like things in order because it's a big change. And we did, and everything's in order now. Everything's going good now. Like start of this year, everything's kind of gotten a lot better, and money wise, and just everything's flowing better. Everything's a lot more organized than it's ever been before. And Yeah, we just brought in like Kyle from Brand of Sacrifice, the singer.
Nice. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing some stuff. He's helping out. Our friend Sean Mott, who works at Continental, he does like all the graphics and shit for the label. Then you got Maddie Way, who does all the video, a lot of video work, and other random stuff that we always have our hand in with the label and A&R and all that stuff. So it's been going well. You know, it's been definitely going well. I'm happy with it.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to hear it, man. I mean, it was a big hit to the metal community in general when when Eric passed. So really glad to see you guys are keeping it going and keeping his memory alive. Through the label as well. It's sick.
Yeah, I think we should by the end of this year, the new Deeds of Flesh record come out.
Fuck yeah.
So that will be pretty fucking awesome. We'll see. I think it's supposed to be the end of this year. It's tentative right now. So there's going to be a bunch of guest vocalists on the record.
Sick.
Yeah.
Damn. That's awesome. Good segue into my next question, I guess, which is, did you guys have, I'm sure you did, obviously, a calendar and a schedule for records coming out, and has Corona derailed that? Have records gotten pushed because of this whole thing?
Some have. Like Ingested got pushed back a little bit, which sucks, but it's fine. It only got pushed back like a month or two.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now, actually.
Yeah. Insider info here, folks.
Yeah.
The unique leader.
Yeah. I mean, we have everything coming out. Like this month, we have Cordycep's new record comes out on April 10th. We have I Am Destruction's new record on April 24th. And then we have a new Ingested song coming out too. And then next month we have some stuff from Humanity's Last Breath.
Sick.
Yeah, and some other singles from like Catalepsy, Distant, X-Green, Op May. And then this summer, I mean, everything's pretty much moving fine. Jamie like organized it really well to where like we're like only releasing like 2 records a month.
Yeah.
Not to like overload everything. And I think a lot of these, or at least a few of them, have got to production before everything happened,
Yep.
So I think we're okay. I think I know Injustice got pushed back because of that, because we wouldn't have had vinyl or anything in time for that release.
Yeah, fuck.
I
didn't even think about assets in that way too.
Yeah, it was all shut. All those plants are shut down right now.
Yep.
Sucks.
So that's something else that kind of came up. So Killian, bass player now for Abiotic, he posted something on Facebook that was like, asking the world, is now a good time to put out an album? Are folks sitting at home and needing the content? And if you put stuff out, are more people going to get it and watch it than they usually would? Or is it on the flip side where it's like, yeah, but you can't tour on it. Yeah, maybe a bunch of people listen to it and see it, but we do need like those numbers and stuff. Or what do you think?
I mean, I guess it depends on the band. If it's something, smaller scale, you could still release it. So if you can hear my dog in the background, she's just going crazy. She's going nuts. I think if you're like a smaller band, it's still okay to release stuff. When it comes to a band like Ingested, yeah, we have to delay it because we need the vinyl. We need that stuff in stock in time.
Yeah.
Or people are going to be bummed and maybe not even pre-order it because they won't get the vinyl for like way later.
Yeah.
So we might as well push the release date back so so we can have the vinyl and everything in time. I think with just on a smaller band, like smaller scale, you could still release something. I think it'll be okay. I think, I would hate for bands that just like not release anything right now.
Yeah.
Like it would bum out a lot of people.
Seriously, like, if things weren't a bummer already and nobody wants to drop fucking music, it's like, fuck.
It's like, fuck everything now. Seriously, I'd be bummed about it too.
Yeah. If you want to get down on some tunes, if you're in a band and you don't want to release your album, but you want to put out some music anyway, get at me. Get at us, and let's figure something out, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's different ways. Even if you don't have physical copies right away, it's fine.
Yeah.
For like a band that's smaller,
Yeah, and it might. So it's like I said, there's two sides to that coin, because if you are a smaller band and your music does catch because people are at home and listening to more stuff, then you could easily kind of level up, make it, to where you're getting more visibility, and then you'll be able to drop something more substantial once things kind of normalize.
Turn around. Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
So how does this affect signings that Unique Leader's doing for the year? Do you guys, for a label, is there like a goal for how many signings you do in a year, or is it just, I really like this band, I want to sign them? Or
yeah, it depends on like what releases we have coming up, how many we have coming up in the year.
Yep.
And just depends on the band too. Like there is a band that we are signing, but their record's not going to come out till early 2021, which is fine because they're taking their, the record's done, but they're taking their time with the art and getting all the content together, Yeah.
Yep.
So it's working out fine for them. But in the past, last year was kind of like rebuilding the label and getting everything back on track. So we didn't really want to sign anything. Like, we signed Disentomb and put out Disentomb's record. But besides that, I think, we had I Am Destruction signed for a while, but their record's not coming out till this month.
Yeah.
So we kind of like slowed down on like signing bands, unless it was going to be like a band that was like more high profile. That was like, if we had the opportunity to sign a more high profile band, like we would have done it,
Yeah.
But I think you'll see more signings from the label next year.
Okay.
Definitely a few more.
Sick. And what do you guys look for? What are some boxes that have to be checked when you're looking at a band?
I think it's just mostly like, obviously we have to be really into the band's music, and also just, I look at everything besides the music. Obviously music is key because you can help a band and change other things that they need to work on.
Yep.
Sorry for burping. A band's logo might suck. And you're just like, you can fix that though. Or a band's name might be kind of, too similar to another band's name, or they have the same name as like 1,000 other bands. So it's like, hey guys, you should change that because it's going to be hard to find your band on Spotify and Apple Music, Google and everything. So there's things like that you could just change and it's not a big deal. So I think it's just like the main thing is really loving the band's music. That is definitely the main thing. And if you could see them live, I mean, that's another thing that sells me. Yeah. Seeing a band live that just crushes it and just blows me away is like the best thing in the world. That is the most attractive thing.
Yeah. So then basically, and this rings true from even, 8 years ago when we first signed, it's labels want to see you doing it, right?
Yeah, they want to see you live.
Yeah, and that translates, I feel like, into pretty much any career and it's like, if you want to move up, if you want to get that promotion, you got to be doing the job before you get it.
Yeah.
And I think that rings true with the touring.
Yeah.
Taking a quick look at the chat here, and I just want to give a huge shout out to the homie Chris Whited.
I love Chris.
I love Chris. Chris, he played in King Conquer. He plays right now in Body Snatcher. I'm pretty sure, is the guy that introduced me to you.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure. I have a pretty specific memory of us sitting. I think we were in a Denny's or like somewhere. We were.
Was it on that tour that you guys did with them?
It was. Right? You came out to the show and we went to get something to eat after. And I think I'd let you listen to some songs from Symbiosis, and I think that's what got us working together, actually.
Yeah. That was a while ago.
So big shout out to Chris. Chris says, how do you stream multiple screen live? Chris, I will hit you up and I will give you the fucking rundown. But if you've watched the entire stream, obviously shit hasn't gone perfect.
Extremely smooth.
Yeah. But I'll give you the basics at the very least.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So I guess we can wrap here on the last one. I wanted to give folks some insight on what your day-to-day looks like. Like you're obviously you're booking, you're working for the label. I know it's probably all over the place, but what's like what's your standard like routine, I suppose?
Pretty much I usually just wake up around 7 or 8 a.m. Wow. It's been that way for like a year now. Like I don't even use an alarm. I just wake up at like 7 something and I'm like, all right, sometimes I'll try to go back to sleep because I'm like, it's still early. I don't need to be awake right now. But it never works. So, get up, do the morning routine and walk the dog and all that stuff. And then just go to my computer and I usually write down like reminders, like things I need to remind myself to do and follow up with, like bands that I submit for tours. Like I need to write down who I submit for what tours so I can go back and follow up with those agents, because that is my life, is following up with agents, managers, bands, promoters.
Yep.
It's always that. And usually first thing I'll do is just usually go to like the label stuff first, because Jamie lives in Europe. So it's like he's 6 hours ahead of me. So usually when I get up, he's been up for 6 freaking hours. Yeah. So I kind of like attend to the label email first and knock out anything there that needs my attention, and then I'll pretty much move on to like booking stuff. And I have like 2 screens. So I have like a laptop on like this little stand, and I have an iMac too. So I just split it up. So it makes me feel like it's just like, so it's not all on one screen, both jobs. So
okay. Kind of 2 different workspaces. That's smart. Yeah.
On the same desk. So it's like, it's nice. But yeah, then I'll just go through my reminders, and then I'll just start, try to initiate like conversations with agents, managers, or the bands that I work with, see what they want to do, when they want to tour, who they want to tour within that time. Do they want a headline? Do they want it? Should we still support, those questions, and just come up with ideas. And usually I'll just reach out to agents here and there and just see what they're working on. And sometimes we just, some agents are like, they'll be like, I have this tour going out, who do you have for it? And we'll just start talking ideas. And then I'll be like, yeah, actually I have this band headlining. Who do you have for it? And then we'll just go back and forth and, work together that way. And sometimes, it works out that way better than waiting for like an agent to send out an email saying, hey, the Black Dahlia Murders headlining, submit your bands. Sometimes I can get ahead of that by just reaching out to that agent and just talking to them. And it goes both ways. Agents hit me, I'll be like, hey, what do you got going on? And then sometimes I'm just like, yeah, this band's probably going to headline, or this band wants to co-headline with someone, or these bands want to support. Do you have anyone for them? And that's how it is, like every day. Some days are busier than others. Right now it's a very weird time, I'm sure everyone knows. And it's just like, yesterday was kind of busy. Like I had like 5 or 6 good phone calls and then good amount of emails. Today's kind of been slow. Some days I'm used to like over 100 emails a day.
Fuck.
Some days I don't have any phone calls. Like I'll go days without talking to anybody on the phone, which is sometimes fine with me, because I feel like when you do like multiple phone calls a day, it drains me out like mentally. I'm just like burnt out. I'll do like 3 phone calls back to back, last like an hour or 2 hours, and I'm just like, okay.
Like I need to turn off. I don't want to fucking talk to anybody for a while.
Like leave me alone.
And then that's when your girlfriend gets home and she wants to tell you about her day, and it's like,
yep.
Fuck.
And then you have to, So those days where I just have to like kind of just, especially when she comes home, I like, give her attention.
Yeah, you gotta turn it off. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's like pretty much a normal day. It's a lot of just emails, text messages, and phone calls. A lot of that.
Yeah, and I think etiquette for all those things are something that you learn. I think there's a learning curve for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
With like email communications and making sure you're replying all that. So there's
all that. You got to make sure.
Yeah, and then you could like sound like a dick in an email, but it's not how you meant to come
off. It's not how it is.
And
sometimes I'm like, hey, listen, I don't mean to sound like a dick here. It's not. I'm not being that way. It's just, this is the question. Don't take it the wrong way. Or just call me.
Yeah. I think that's if there's something touchy, I think that's the way to go. So
a phone call, just it'll go over way better most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, thanks a ton for coming on, dude.
Thank you.
I had an awesome time talking with you, and like I said,
Me too.
it's been forever, so it was awesome
Yeah,
to be
it's
able to
been a
catch
minute.
up. It's awesome to see that getting DeFonced has really turned around. I know I'm gonna keep giving you shit for it because it's fun,
Always.
but
Yes.
I truly, again, DeFonced it's got a new meaning to it. So, and I'm, like I said before, I'm super stoked for you. I'm
Thank
so
you, man.
proud of what
Yeah.
you're doing, and can't wait to get on tour once all this blows over with some of your bands.
Yeah, send me
And-
some new music too.
Yeah, I've got
wanna hear you guys
some
some
pre-pro,
stuff.
and I'll send some shit your way.
Yeah, please. I like pre-pro.
Anything you want to plug before I let you go, as far as your bands or Devastation or anything?
Just, I hope everyone can make it out next year.
Support the industry.
And support, and when bands start touring, go to the shows. And that's it, man. Just I hope we come out of this strong and everything turns around for the it all becomes better than it was before, maybe, for all we know. Maybe tours will do better than they were doing before. Shows will start performing better than what they were doing before.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping for the best, and that's it. That's
Hoping
good.
for the best, preparing for the worst, right?
For
That's
the
what we
worst,
took away
that's
from this
it.
conversation is taper your expectations, because
Yes. Seriously, you have to.
All right, awesome. Dan, thanks again so much. Hopefully
man.
we'll get to have
Had a
you
good
on
time.
again, and we'll talk with you soon, bud.
All right, cool. Take care, man.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much again for hanging with us on the Big Shred podcast today. Again, we had the homie Scott Carstairs and Dan DeFonce. I had a great time talking with them. I hope you guys had a great time watching Scott jam and getting some insight into the Fallujah world. Had a great time listening to Dan and get some insight on his end from being a booking agent as well as a label VP, and his take on how things could possibly be going in the future. Taper your expectations, wash your hands, taper your expectations on how this may go. We may be looking at a quarantine for months into the year. Who knows, right? So be mindful of each other. Stay safe. Wear a mask, even if you think it's effective or not. I feel like it's effective in creating the kind of mindset that we need for us to be successful in beating this thing. And once this is over, go to a fucking show. Buy tickets, get some merch, put some money together once you're back working, if you're not working and stuff. And again, I appreciate you guys for hanging out, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks, everybody.